Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how I created this animation from previous tutorial where we created the working desk. Let's go!
The visual vibe.
As always, all of these materials together with final animation you can find on my Patreon. And I want to say thank you for all of the guys who support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I will start from removing all of the keyframes from this animation. So I'm going to hit A to select everything. Then I'm going to hit here A again with the cursor on the timeline and hit X to delete all of the keyframes. So now we do not have any animation, we just have the switch between two cameras, which I will also remove here. There we go. So now we have two cameras. We have a lot of small things. Let me organize a little bit and I will select camera 1. So let's take a look on the solid version. We have two cameras. So the camera 1, I called it here. Let's rename it to camera 1. And then we have camera 2, which is directed to the screen, right to the screen. Into the input field. So I will hit here a random, so I will clearly see all of the items on the scene. I will rename it to camera 2, and then additionally I have two empty objects, the one right here in the middle, so I will again remove two of them. I will hit again Shift A, go into the empty plane axis. It will be added by default in the center of the scene. I will move it and put it above the screen of the monitor, and I will select camera 2, which is now it's not pointed anywhere, and I'm going to the constraint settings, selecting here from the list track 2, and here I'm selecting the empty I just added. By default it's called empty 4, so I'm going to find it in the search, empty. We have here empty number 4, and I will call it camera focus 2. Then I'm going to duplicate it, so I'm going to hit with selected empty Shift D, move it by Y-axis a little bit in front, so it will be our first item. For the first camera, I'm going to clear here the search. I'm going to select camera 1, again selecting track 2, and I'm going to select now focus. So right now it's called focus 2, but I'm going to rename it to focus 1. So now we have camera number 1, which is right here. And the cool thing with this tracking, that if I move it, you see that the camera always pointed into the empty. So going here to the camera view, and if I move it, and let's maybe move it to material, there we go, you can see that it always pointed into the empty. Okay, so the camera settings is pretty simple. It's 120 millimeters, no depth of field. So for this one I want to whole scene into the focus. So in the rendered version it looked like this. Then I'm going to remove these guys so far. There was none of them on the default scene, and I will also remove these guys here. So you can also check my one of the latest tutorials regarding how I created and added here these stickers, these small stickers with generated by AI, and then put them on the surface of different items. But now let's take a look on what I've done with these small things and how they are animated. So I'm going to the view selected, I'm going to remove this. So we have here the badge. Sorry, it's not the badge, it's a sticker. And what it have to be animated, it have a subdivision surface and it have a simple deform. But by default, simple deform with the 0.5 settings here in the limits, it will just rotate it by, it will just actually bend the bottom part, right? So if I change it, you can see that a whole will be bended, but I want to be a sticker and bend it a little bit like this. So what I'm doing here, I want to add the empty. So I will have ability to actually control the direction of this bending. So I added here an empty. I want to move it right above this sticker right here. And now I'm selecting the sticker itself, and here we have the object for the origin. And I'm going to select this just edit empty. This is happened by default because the centers are not aligned. So I'm going to here to the center to copy the coordinates for both of them. So I'm going to copy X, Y, and then also Z. There we go. So we have the same position for the empty and for the sticker. Now I can, for example, connect the empty to the sticker itself. So I'm going to select both of them, then go into the parent object. And now if I go into the Y view and I will rotate by Y axis the empty, you can see that while I'm changing the origin, the sticker also changes the direction of the bending. And this is really simple but powerful technique of how you can bend your items. So let's say this is the first frame of my animation, and you can see here I turned on auto keying. So that means that all of the changes I'm doing during the timeline, they will be automatically applied. So I'm going to I'm going to select the sticker. I'm going to change here the angle to the smaller one, like this. I'm going to hit here the keyframe, and I'm going to move the timeline to the front, somewhere to the frame 60, let's say, and I'm going to change the angle to bigger one, like this. As you can see, the changes automatically applied. So now we have this animation, but additionally I can change the Y rotation for this empty. So I'm going back here, I'm going to change it to almost 0, and then at the frame 62, and as you can see, previously it was 60 but now it's 72, I'm going to rotate it more by Y axis. That means that now animation will be like this. Maybe this is too much, and also maybe 200 degrees also too much. So 140, and then here we have a little bit more for the rotation. There we go. Then of course you can select the keyframes, going to hit N to open the better render controls, but I will change it to the better easing. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to add the power spring probably. So now let's take a look how it will behave. Let's maybe try soft cushion. Yeah, it's better. And then I will probably align both the rotation and the movement of the sticker. There we go. Or maybe we can change to in out. Yeah, it works for me. Now I can select both of them and change the direction, let's say, sorry, not direction, but duration to 72. So it will basically play for a few seconds. And now we just need to basically duplicate the same manually for all of the other items. I already have it, so you can see here I have also empty to manage the rotation of this this graph. So I'm going to simple deform. I'm going to hit here a keyframe, move it to the frame 0, and then at the frame, let's say 96, I'm going to change it to something like this. So now that means that it will slightly move for 3 seconds or so. Maybe 3 seconds is too much. I will move it a little bit to the 2 seconds, so it's 60 frames. As you remember, we have 30 frames into the second, in the second. So for this one, I'm going to add also something like power spring animation, so it will have beautiful and oh yeah, it's nice, bouncy, not too much, maybe quick. I think for all of them, like this paper, the in-out works pretty nice. And then basically, if you don't want to change the angle like I do with this rotation of the empty, you can just simply do the simple deform animation. So you have like 60 degrees almost here. Then I'm moving back to the 0, and here you should be really careful, so you will not have the overlap for 2 different items. So I'll move it back, and for this one I'm also changing the angle. So now both of them will move together. You see, with a small delay, but they do not overlap. Then the same for the rest of them. So I'm going to change here. So this is default one, I'm moving it to the front, and the first one I'm moving to the 0. Same for this one, I'm adding the keyframe, move it to the front, and here I'm change it to the 0. So now we have like this animation. I'm going to select both of them, hit A, and add in out. Maybe just out would be enough. There we go. Yeah, just out would be enough. Also applying here dynamics. I'm going to these 3 guys here. I'm going to hit to the simple deform keyframes. 1, 2, 3. Moving to the frame 0. Change it to 0. Again to the 0, and the last one also to the 0. Then I'm going to select all 3 of them, where they are. I think this one, yes, these three guys. I'm going to hit A, and I'm going to hit here also out. Then probably this one would be a little bit faster than the second one, and then the last one at the very end. There we go. What else we have here? I think this one also have, as I see, an empty. Probably also should have some movement. So there I already have added simple deform, so I'm going to hit here a keyframe, moving to the very first frame, and this one probably could be a reversed action, so it will be by default banded, but it will go back to the wall while we going into the scene. So the main idea of the animation is actually to land the user inside of the scene. So I'm going to select the camera number 1, going to remove this frame, and I'm going to hit I to add the keyframe to all of the items here, and I'm going to move it to, let's say, frame how many seconds we want to show here. Probably 3 seconds would be enough. And I'm going to move the camera. Let's take a look one more time on the camera view. There we go. So this is the initial, and I'll probably move it a little bit more to the right, like this. And then at the frame 90, I'll move it back right here. Let's take a look. So this is our movement. Maybe I will do the vice versa as it was in my video previously. So we will start from the left. I'll probably move it a little bit more back so we'll see the whole animation. And let's maybe change the angle. So I'm going to change the focal length, and we will see more actually the items which we are just previously animated. So this is how we're going into the scene. So I'm going to change again the position of the camera. So this is the frame 1. Now at the frame 90, I'm moving camera to the right. Right here. And while we're moving the camera, I think we'll have here the animation of the cursor, the appearance animation for this screen, and the screen animation itself. Additionally, you probably saw here there is a chat appearing. So this is the animation for the camera, and that means that's at the frame. So this is the initial one, and then we need to jump into the second camera, and here I will use the zoom in animation. So I'm going to change the position. So the end of this movement is at 108. I'm going to hit I to add the keyframes. There we go. And then I will give like extra 12 frames probably for animation. I'm going to do Z, and I'm moving the camera to the screen, so we'll have a zoom in animation like this. So right now it looks like this. Let me save it. There we go. And that means that at the frame 100, I'm hitting here, need to select firstly the camera 2, and I'm going to the timeline and hit Ctrl B, so we're switching to the camera 2. Then I'm going to the frame 0, selecting camera 1, hitting Ctrl B. That means that we're starting from the camera 1. And now we have camera 1, there is the marker, go into the scene and then jump into the camera 2. Camera 2 should have a focus. Depth of field here, you can see it's turned on, and we need to select our focus for camera 2. There we go. And it's applied to the screen. Now going back to the screen, you see here an animation of appearance, and it's basically simplest things to do is just to animate the alpha channel. So how to do this? There is two ways. The first way is pretty simple. You can simply hit here the keyframe. So I'm going to show you on a timeline that we have a keyframe. So you can hit here a keyframe to add, or you can go back to the material. If you have more complex, I would say, material, you can add here a value node connected to all of the items which have the alpha channel. So if I would have here more than one principal BSDF, I don't need to animate all of them. I can just simply connect it to the alpha and animate this alpha. So I would have here going to hover on this input field, going to hit I above it. You can see we added the keyframe, and let's say at the frame 36 I'm going to change it to 1. So we'll have 1, and we add the second keyframe. That means that now we can add the different graph for animation or whatever you want to, or change the timing if you need different one. Now going back to the animation of this input field, I made it in the After Effects. I'm going to the After Effects, going to import here my screen. So I'm added here my screenshot which I previously created in Figma. I believe you guys saw it already. So here I have the text ask anything, and by default it was created just for static image, static animation, but now you want to see how I added the animation. So I'm going to add here a shape above the text, so I don't need to see the text itself. I'm going to remove the stroke. I don't need to have a stroke. 0, and the text, the shape itself will be pure white. There we go. So now we have an empty one. I'm going to change the opacity a little bit so I can see what I'm typing and where. I will lock the background so it will be not editable. And this one layer is 2 with opacity, and I'm going to add one layer above. I'm going to type in here, hey visual vibe, create an image with stickers. Now let's set up the style. This would be black, or maybe not black but almost black. So I'm going to hit here 15 15 15. I'm going to remove the stroke for this text, and I will change the, or maybe Galactica is fine, the text is fine. It was all selected. Let's decrease the scale. I also changed the alignment to the left, so we'll have correct animation. let's decrease scale to align it with the background text and change from bold to regular. There we go. Let's maybe add some text, so we'll have more. Hey, visual vibe, create an image with stickers. There is a small mistake. Stickers for corporate identity. What else? I think it's fine, would be enough. It's just for the tutorial, so it's fine. Changing back the opacity to pure white for this one, and that means that now we just need to animate this text, and then animation be continued on in the Blender. So the first part is we need to somewhere let's firstly change the composition settings. So right now it's 1 minute 28 seconds. I want it to be just 3 seconds. It would be more than enough, maybe even 2.5, like this. Maybe 3 is better. Composition settings, let's get to the 3 seconds. 3 seconds right here at the bottom. This is all of what we have. So we have to get inside of this input field, then we need to type in all this text, and then we hit in the play, basically send button, and then the animation starts next. So here we need to change 2 parameters. The first one is the opacity. So I'm going to hit here a T, and somewhere at 1/3 of this of the first second, I'm hitting here to add the keyframes on this clock one, and I'm going back to the first frame and removing the opacity to the 0. So now we have ask anything again visible, and then this will appear. But I don't need to, these would be appear together with this white background, so I'm moving the layer a little bit in the front, so now we have it like this. Right, I'm going to the preview, and I will change the resolution to the half, so it will be visible for you guys. There we go. And now I will not do anything like complex. I'm going to the effects and presets right here, type in writer or typewriter. There we go. This is the effect which we need, and I'm just simply move it to the text which we have, like hey visual vibe. Why I have moved here the text Helvetica new, and I need regular. There we go. And as you can see here, if I open, we just added for the text, we added the animator, and this animator will have the keyframes. So this is the first one. That means that somewhere we have the second one. Let's increase the scale of the composition, so we will see the second one, and we can move it. So now between these 2 keyframes, the animation will be next. We have the nothing, and then it will start typing hey the visual vibe, create an image with stickers for corporate identity, and it will end at the second right here. So the whole animation for this would be basically 2 seconds. That's it. So now I'm going to move the end of the scene to the 3rd second, and let's play it again. There we go. If you want to, you can also select the keyframes, go into the right click, keyframe assistant, and apply ease in, ease out, or both of them, ease, like this. So now the animation will be a little bit more interesting. There we go. Now we just need to export it. So I'm going to the composition, I'm going to hit here add to render queue, and we need to specify the name and where to. So I'm going with the codec with H.264, which will basically match the result. Specify the name, specify where you want to render it. I'm going to and hit here render. It will take a few seconds because the animation is too small. And this beautiful sound means that your animation is ready. Going back to Blender, going to select the screen like this, and here I'm selecting my animation. So before this we have the simple image. Now I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to open it and find here my just created animation. I'm going to hit open. Here you will see the next settings. So the linear, the flat, the clip, and here you can see the movie. Before this it was single image, now it's movie by default, and we need to apply number of frames. The frames is actually the length of your video. In our case this is the 33 seconds, so it's around 90 frames, and I will do more just to cover it, right? So not to think that it will not work. And then the second thing is actually start frame. So that means that at which frame the animation starts to play. So right now I'm on the frame 131. That means that the whole 3 seconds already played. But we have the movement of the camera. Camera 2 starts from the 120 frame second. So I'm moving the start frame to 120. That means that our animation starts right from here. And if we take a look, we will see that you see the ask anything starts to disappear, and the text which we just animated with hey visual vibe create an image starts to appears. Corporate identity, and then there is the wave. So I will probably turn off it, we just do not have it so far. So you see we started at the frame 120 and the animation ended at the frame 180. So it's basically 2 seconds as we planned. Yeah, 180 minus 120, it's 60. 60 divided by 30, it's 2. 2 frames. Sorry, 2 seconds of animation. So now let's go back to our animation. What we can do here. We need to, so we have the animation for the frame for the camera 1 when we jump into the camera 2. So now let's animate camera 2. We have at the frame 120 the first frame, and we have the second frame. So this is the last position for this camera. I'm going to move it a little bit to the front, maybe for 12 frames would be enough. So from 120 to 132, And now we need to move the camera a little bit back. So we will have a zoom in animation. Like this. So let's take a look. Yeah, now the problem is that they are moving with easing, and we need to do the fast end and fast start. So for the camera 2, I'm going to select camera 2 is selected. I'm going to select these 2 keyframes, hit N to open the beta easing, and I'm going to select fast start. That means that camera will actually jump into the scene. Then I'm going to select camera 1, select the last 2 frames, and select fast end. Now let's take a look what we have in this case with this preview. Much better. Looks like beautiful transition between 2 frames. Okay, so let's go back to the camera 2. We will have the additional animation because we need to move the empty, and this is I'm showing you why we need to do this, because there is the dips of the field, and we need to be sure that our empty is always connected to the text. So by default, and I'm going to the very first frame where the animation starts. So we jump into the scene at the frame 132. It starts to type in animation. Maybe we can also change a little bit the starting frame, because we do not have here an animation of disappearance. So I'm going to add like maybe 5 frames or 6, like this. So we jumping in. Now the ask anything disappears and typing starts. When typing starting, we need to move this empty so it will be always with the cursor of the text. So text going to the right somewhere here, and we need to move the empty together with the text. So we will have a tracking of what we're typing in, going in and moving the empty. There we go. Maybe I will move the empty a little bit back, like this. So we're going in, movement, and maybe the last thing, there will be a click on the play, on the send button. So I'm going to move the empty a little bit more. And the last thing, that's camera, will move to the right. So I'm going to move it a little bit like this, to the front, to the right. Move it back the keyframe, so we'll have this animation for the camera. And then the last thing, as we have the empty in the middle of the screen and camera is also pointed in this empty, I will move the camera into the front and to the right. I'm going to select these keyframes, going again with N to open the beta easing, and I'm going to hit fast end. That means that it will jump into the first frame. Then I'm going back to the camera 1 again, going to the very first one, move it a little bit into the front, and so actually it starts from the frame 12. And now I need to create the loop animation in my case, but in your case it also could be a jumping into the scene. So I'm moving the camera a little bit into the front and to the right. Maybe even with this window visible, it doesn't matter for us. Going to select these two keyframes, going to hit N again, and I'm going to select fast start. Now, if we take a look on the whole animation, you will see how beautiful the transitions are with this movement from the beta easing. Let's take a look. Maybe we can increase a little bit here the animation. And you can see also how beautiful works the animation on the background with these small things, small touches like the stickers, the papers and everything else. Additionally, here I have the books. Let's take a look on the books. And I will change the number of items. So I'm going to the frame 5, going to hit here on the count, move it into the front, let's say to the frame 96, and decreasing the number. So at the very end we'll have less, so maybe one book. And then while we're showing the animation, there will be appearing more books. Additionally, I will animate the movement of the office chair. So I'm going to hit I, it will be the end position. And I will move it a little bit to the front and rotate by Z axis. So it will basically move like this, but I will do for this one also the beta easing with a fast start. So it will jump and then slightly move. I'm going back to the Figma, and here I have small, I don't know how to call it, probably the pop-up. I will call it pop-up. With this text inside, new request, how to create professional looking SaaS motion with using 3D soft like a Blender, and hit here a send button. So it's basically a little bit aligned with the colors of the screen itself. I already exported with the 2 times bigger size, so it will have usable visible resolution. It will be bigger than we need, so it will be easier to use. Going back to Blender, going to Shift A, add image, mesh plane. I already have it. I exported without background, so it will be easier for me to add it inside of the Blender. Going to the Y axis, so I'm going to isolate it. I'm going to hit here tab to add a few cuts like this. I'm going to select all of them with A and hit E to extrude it, so it will have a little bit more thickness. Selecting the corners, going to the Control B to add the bevelness like this. Now I'm going to the material. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy the principal BSDF. I'm going to add here a mix shader, connect it, and additionally I will take the alpha channel from the image texture connected to the factor. Now that means that we have 2 materials. The first one is actually the material of the image, or basically the text, and these windows with the text and the button and the icons. And the second material is actually the background, so it could be any color as you want to. In my case it should be white. I'm going to change the roughness a little bit. I'm going to add to the object itself the bevel modifier and subdivision surface modifier. So for the bevel, I'm increasing the segments, decreasing the amount. Let's take a look. Go into the shade outer smooth. We have beautiful edges. I think 0.2 would be enough. And now we need to animate basically how it will appear on the screen. I'm going to copy the shape, so I'm going to Shift D, move it by Y-axis to the back, move it a little bit so we'll have something like this, and I'm going to remove the material and create a new one. I will call it card BG, and I will change the color to something like we have here on the button, so we'll have more contrast on the scene like this. And then one more, I will do the Shift D, move it maybe here and move it back. Going to copy it again, card BG, and I will call it glass. Now I'm going to copy, not the copy, but add here a glass BSDF and also a mix shader. There we go. Connect glass to the mix shader. Going to increase the roughness. And in the principal BSDF, I'm going to add the weight in the transmission. So now it will be transparent. Going to decrease the roughness a little bit. And I think that will be enough. To align the colors, I will add here a color mix. Connect to both principal BSDF and to the glass. Go into the move factor, so now you see that the A is turned off, and now I will change the color to something as we previously had on this button. Going to select it with a picker. There we go. So we have the same color as we do for the previous one. I'm going to select all three of them. Going to decrease the scale. Move it somewhere here. And above the table. Right here, next to the screen. Let's take a look at the camera view. This is the, and then they should disappear because they are too close. Maybe we will move them into the front a little bit like this, because in this case, if I'm going back to the camera view, yeah, they are still visible. So maybe a little bit move them to the bottom a little bit like this. Let's go back to the camera view. Now it's better. So now we just show how they appear somewhere at the frame 48, I would say. Going back to isolate all of them. Move it a little bit like this, so we'll see our materials. And what I'm gonna do, I'm going to add here a value node connected to the alpha channel. So now it's 0. And in this case, I'm going to add one more and connect it to the factor. So we have 0 and 0. Now we need to, at this frame, hit here I 2 times to add the keyframes. Move it to the front. Let's say it will appear for 1 second, so from 48 to 72. And this one would be 0.5, so we will actually turn on the factor, and this one would be 1, so we turn on the alpha channel for the glass. That means that it will appear like this. Let's then do the same for this one. In this case, we have the alpha, so I'm going to the frame 72, hit I to the keyframe, going back to 48 and decreasing the alpha to the 0. So they will appear like this. And now we will do the same for the more complex material. I'm going to add here a value node and connect it to the alpha channel. Right here, so I'm going to change it to the 0, hitting I while I'm hovering the value node and going back, oh sorry, it should be right here, and going back to the frame 72, and there will be 1. So now we have the animation, how they are appear during 1 second or so. And now I want to also add the animation of jumping in. So I'm going to the coordinates, and I'm going to hit here a keyframe for all of them. There will be just 1. And this is the end position, right? Now we're going back to the frame 48, which is the start position, and I'm moving slightly to the bottom while moving the Z axis for all of them. So I'm going to select the second one, also moving down, and then the third one also moving down. So now the animation will be like this. Now we have the first one, we have the second one, and I want to make them like jumping not all together but one by one. So I'm moving the keyframes to the front for this one and for this one too. So now we have like this. Let's also change the animation for the appearance. There will be 0. And here will be also a 0, and there will be a 1. And going back to the animation. So now we just need to add the animation for the cursor. By default, I think it should be out of the scene, so I'm moving it somewhere here, out of the scene. Then somewhere at the frame 24, when the camera already here, we move in the cursor. I'm going to change the direction, so it will actually face where it goes, like this. So we're going in, then we need to somehow interact with these items which are so far invisible. So I'm going to move it down, and as you remember, now the animation will appear. So I'm going to rotate it and move it to the front like this. So you can see how now it goes into the scene. There we go, it rotates. Then from this position it starts to rotate more. Maybe somewhere here I can rotate it a little bit more. It jumps to the top together with these items here, moves. So now it should move closer to the screen, somewhere here. So it will be visible while we switch into the second camera, because it also should be on the second animation. Oh, sorry, on the animation of the second camera. So now somewhere here, again, go into the screen, we jump into the second camera. It's right here. It will move together with the second camera. I will move it a little bit closer. Going together with the second camera. There we go. And now we need to actually click So I'm going to rotate it like this and move it to the bottom. After this, we can move outside of the scene. There we go. Now let's adjust a little bit the camera animation. So I'm going to move it. And let's take a look. We're going in. It actually showed us what we typed in. Heat. Maybe heat is too subtle, but it works. And now we have this position, and I will simply move it a little bit like this. And the empty also will be moved to this position at the end. There we go. There we go. This is actually it. This is how we can create this type of animation with these transitions and camera movement. Then in the render settings, don't forget to hit a motion blur, but do not use the bigger shutter speed. I think 0.2 or 0.15 is enough, or you will have too much blur during the transitions like this. Then of course the render settings for animations I usually do somewhere like 130 samples, and noise threshold something like 0.05. There will be 0.05, not just 10, like this. And if you're going to the output, it depends on you, but if you want to create full HD like this one, 1920 to 1080, add a little bit more. So I will here multiply it by 1.2 or 1.3. It will not affect a lot the render time, but it will give you a little bit more space to manage your video. If you want to cut something, or if you want to add somewhere zoom, or just simply have a little bit more better quality. This is like small trick which I use. As always, all of these materials together with final animation you can find on my Patreon, and I want to say thank you to all of the guys who support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more useful content. Thank you.
The Visual Vibe.